Now, New York Times has broken a massive story about a new super PAC that was going to fund $10 million worth of ads against President Obama. It was commissioned by Joe Ricketts, who happens to be the owner of the Chicago Cubs. And this program was going to be executed by Fred Davis, who's a Republican operative. And in fact, they had already gotten to the point where they had professionally bound, in color pages, et cetera, pamphlet, 56 pages. So this proposal was ready to go. And New York Times even says in their article, well, after they read this article, basically, we're not sure they'll do it because it's explosive. Now, not only is it explosive because of what they were going to do, but also their internal thinking, I think, is the most interesting part of this. So let's reveal all of it. First of all, the title of the advertising plan was called, quote, "The Defeat of Barack Hussein Obama, the Ricketts Plan to End His Spending for Good." Okay, so you can already begin to tell with the Barack Hussein Obama nonsense which way they're going. Immediately, they were going to go to Jeremiah Wright. You know, Reverend Wright. God, how old is that? But to them, I guess, they're like, oh, Reverend Wright, he seems like an angry black man. Let's use that against him. So they say in the plan, the world is about to see Jeremiah Wright and understand his influence on Barack Obama for the first time in a big, attention-arresting way. Wrong again, Bob. We already saw that in 2008. It was the world's largest advertising campaign, but it was done in the form of Fox news programs. What, you just thought the world didn't see Reverend Wright? That's all anybody talked about in 2008. But to these guys, like, it wasn't enough. We just go back to that, well, then they'll finally see that Barack Obama is black. Okay, now, look, you might guys say, oh, you know, Reverend Wright says some bad things about America. This isn't necessarily racial. Oh, hold on, here we go. The proposal explains, our plan is to do exactly what John McCain would not let us do. Show the world how Barack Obama's opinions of America and the world were formed. So, of course, referring to Reverend Wright, et cetera, all that stuff. You know what? As I read that, I thought, you really got to give credit to John McCain, because apparently they put all the pressure in the world. Some of these people worked on his campaign and said, please, please attack him on racial grounds. And McCain just would not do it. So that's, silver lining in that cloud for at least John McCain. So here's a part of the proposal that I loved. They explained that, quote, voters still aren't ready to hate this president. So then they try to address that problem, because they hate the president. They're like, damn it, the voters don't hate him yet. How do we get them to hate President Obama? Ooh, Republican 101. This is getting good. How to inflame, this is one of their proposals, how to inflame their questions on his character and competency while allowing themselves to still somewhat like the man becomes the challenge. So basically, if they still like the president, which, damn it, we hate that they do, but we have to find a way to challenge his character and competency as well to make sure that we rip him down. Okay, so how are they going to do that? One of the things that they said, this is bizarre, because I couldn't tell in the beginning if this is what they were calling President Obama or they thought President Obama was presenting himself this way. I believe it's the latter. They say that President Obama is presenting himself as a metrosexual black Abe Lincoln. Now, wait, I don't even know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if he wants to. That's a, what? What? So he's a good-looking, well-dressed version of Abe Lincoln. I can't tell where the insult is, but I know that they think that that's horrible, okay? Get a load of this metrosexual Abe Lincoln. I don't know. It's bizarre. All right, but here's the killer quote. They said that they needed a guy to be the face of this program. They didn't want to actually reveal themselves. In fact, when the New York Times revealed this, they backpedaled furiously and now are saying, oh, we weren't going to do that. Now, did we have a 56-page pamphlet that was all ready to go and launch? What do you mean? No. So what they needed was cover, because they're not going to do it themselves. So they said, we need, quote, an extremely literate conservative African American. There you have it. That is what they do, man. They take somebody like Herman Cain, Alan West, you name it, right? Alan Keyes, and they put them up and they go, I didn't say it. Did I say all these hateful things? Did I get you to try to hate President Obama? No, I didn't do that. No, my incredibly literate black friend did. And by the way, look at the assumptions. Seriously, pause on that for a second. Do you think there's any chance that if they were looking for a white spokesperson, they would have said, let's get an extremely literate white person? No way. I mean, come on, you know it. Even if you're the most conservative person in America, you know they wouldn't have said that. Because to them, in their worldview, well, look, we got to use Reverend Wright. That guy's an angry black guy. I mean, if the world sees him like we do, they would definitely vote against President Obama. And then who we're going to get to make that argument? Well, we got to get a black guy so we can have cover, but God, we're going to have to find a literate one. Oh, Jesus. And then you want to get a load of what the registered domain name for this was? I love this irony. Character matters. Well, ain't that the God's honest truth? The fact is, of course, they have none. They view President Obama in these racial terms, and they want the rest of the country to do the same thing. And ironically, they claim they have character, and they're going to expose President Obama's lack of character. Boy, that is an irony.